and welcome to Dishing with Patricia. Today I have a very special guest, and her name is Reverend Dr. Lorina Marshall-Blake. So those of you that don't know Lorina, please get ready for some excitement. We're going to talk about the spiritual aspect of cooking. We're going to talk about the sisterhood, her being a AKA, which we're also excited about that. So needless to say, so what should we do? Let's get started. Are you ready to start, Lorina?
I'd love to get started.
You ready to get started?
I'm just excited and delighted to be here.
Well, I'm really happy that you agreed to come on the show. This is our second episode, and I'm just really excited. So I guess I'm going to go back and say I'm a little nervous too, because Lorina and I are usually just chit-chatting on the phone, or if she comes to my home, that's how we generally talk. But on a more serious note, I want to first congratulate you. Lorina is up for the Philadelphia Council of Clergy and Community Development Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yes. And matter of fact, I actually just received it,
yes.
As a matter of fact. And I laughed to myself when they said lifetime achievement. My first thought, does that mean I'm old? Okay. but really what it does, it really looks at, I guess, what I've done in my lifetime.
Yes.
And for me, it's that whole mantra of I will always serve, always giving back. Okay. Always reaching back.
Yes.
So that's why I believe that's why they gave me the award.
Okay. I think it's appropriate. I think it's good.
And again, I don't like to get honored. I actually enjoy serving and making a difference in people's lives. So that's what's important to me.
Okay. So we're going to get into talking about you serving, but we want to talk about let food be thy medicine, and thy medicine shall be thy food.
Wow. Oh.
There's been a lot of different changes politically in our country. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of women of color taking on these prominent roles.
Yes.
That you have something similar.
Yeah.
You're a leader in your community. You're a trailblazer. You are AKA, and now our new vice president. Tell me, how do you feel about that? Because she also is in the same sorority that you are, but being the first. You just said you were the first to run this foundation.
Yeah.
You were first in this. So tell me, how are you relating to that? Being a first and being a woman of color of many things. Tell me.
I'm so glad you asked me that. Okay. And I remember when Kamala Harris, our vice president of the United States of America, stepped to the podium to introduce the president. She said, I may be the first, but I won't be the last. And see, that's what I get excited about, this attitude. I may be the first, but I don't want to be the last. We should always have people coming behind us, always reaching back. So when they won, and Lord knows I was praying, and I'm not going to tell you, I was really praying. What is it? Thomas in the Bible had calluses on his knees. I had calluses on my knees.
So we see you here with this fabulous hat on. I mean, I would be remiss if I did not, talk about you and your hats. Yes. For those of you that are not aware, Lorina wears a hat. Every time you see her, she has on a different hat. It matches her outfit. It either goes to the side or it's to the back, but it's always so. And she always looks just really, really fabulous. So what got you into wearing hats?
It goes back to my grandmother and my mama. Okay. Every time we were children, we always look forward to Easter. I think we all can relate to that. We have our little hat with the little ribbon in the back. Okay. And the little fancy little socks and everything. You did not go to church without a hat. Now it's a lot different now,
right.
But you did not go out the house, especially on a Sunday, without a hat. Okay. And for me, and I'm going to tell you the funny story behind it. Hats make me look taller. That's the other part. I'm a short kid. Okay.
Yes.
People, when I'm sitting, people think I'm much taller than I am.
Because of your hat.
Because of my hat.
So if this started when how long have you been wearing it? Since childhood?
I've been wearing hats since childhood. And again, most people that know me, my entire work career, I've had a hat. Always. Always had a hat.
So,
and again, for me, one of the things I often say, I'm a woman of many hats. You just mentioned I'm a reverend. Okay, I actually have written. I'm an author. I'm a philanthropist. Okay, it depends on what day it is. I'm a doctor, with my kids. Okay, giving them advice. So again, I think women again too, especially African American women, we're moving in and out of many roles. Okay, depending on what is going on. All right, this is what I need to do for this moment.
So you wearing a hat, literally and figuratively.
Exactly.
Now tell me this: how many do you have?
Over 100. I have to tell the truth. Do
you weed them out and then give some away and then replace them with new ones?
I will give them, one of the places that sometimes I put stuff together, I'll give it to Career Wardrobe and even at church, we have a boutique.
Yes.
So, so folks can come and get food. If they need clothing, they can get clothing. And if they need a hat, there are hats there too. So yes, you do. But there's some that are just your favorites that you just won't give up.
You don't give away.
You just won't give away.
Do you have one from your mom or your grandmother?
Yes.
Do they fit?
Yes, and you know what? They're timeless. They're age. When I wear them, folks are like, "What a neat hat!" And I said, "Hey, this was my mama's." Okay, so again, a hat it can be timeless. All right, and again, you make the hat. All right, that when I put on a hat, I get this whole persona, as I call it, or parents always said sit up and all those other things. But again, when I put on a hat, and then when I put my baseball caps on, I'm much, I'm more casual, but I'm almost sometimes whimsical. It depends on what it is. I've got hats where you turn. Look, this hat, it's up. I can turn it down. Okay, I can turn it on this side. So so again, you make the hat. All right, the hat doesn't make you. You make the hat. If you want to wear a hat backwards, you can do it.
So, is there a favorite designer? Is there a boutique, or do you have your hats made? Do you have someone that's making them for you?
It's a combination thereof. It was a young lady, her name was Hats by Karen. And Karen would have some of the best. Matter of fact, this hat that I have on today is at least 15 years old. But it's timeless.
Timeless, right.
It's timeless. And again, you could get hats in department stores. Again, people see hats and they say, "Lorina, I saw this hat and it looks like you." So people give me hats. All right. So that's the fun part. It's like, "Hey, I saw this and I just knew this was your hat." So I welcome them. Rule number one,
I was going to ask,
never turn away a hat.
I was going to say, so when you get one that's not really you, because sometimes people buy things and they said, "Oh, I saw you in it."
Yeah.
Like, what person were you seeing? You obviously were not seeing me, because I would not purchase that.
Exactly. But you know what? Rule number one, never turn away a hat. And what I'll often do is I'll at least take a picture of the hat on my head so they can at least see that I did put the hat on.
Okay.
Yeah, no. So you try never, you don't want to be rude. Okay. Always be appreciative, because then the next time around they may really give you a hat
that you like.
Really like.
Okay. So, Dishing with Patricia, not only it talks about what's going on in the current events, what's going on in your life, your lifestyle. We also want to get back to talking about our food.
Yes.
So when you're in your quiet time and you want to cook something, because I've said to people before, when I'm stressed or I'm thinking about things or I'm trying to work my way through things, I am in the kitchen. Bruce, my husband, is aware of this. I'm listening to gospels.
Yes.
Because food is spiritual to me. And you and I have had a conversation about this. So tell me about, what is your approach to food?
Okay. Now, similarly to you, and I like the Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir. So I'll say, "Alexa, turn on Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir." Okay? We got technology, okay? So it goes on. And my children will tell you that, especially at Christmas time, that's when I really get into, I cook all the time, but this real cooking mode. And so I will then determine, we're going to have turkey, we're going to have ham, we're going to have teriyaki chicken, we're going to have grilled vegetables, because I have every member of my family. I've got vegans, I've got folks that don't do pork. So, you got to consider all that as you're doing it.
Yes.
But I get excited about that. When I'm sitting there and I'm doing black-eyed peas, okay, or if I'm doing, if I'm making potato salad, I've got my own way of making potato salad.
Right.
Okay.
Well, everyone knows that if you're black, they're like,
you better know how to potato.
Or who made the potato salad?
Who made the potato salad? And some people are like,
no,
eat their potato salad.
And also they're like that with macaroni and cheese.
Mac and cheese. Now, you know what, Patricia? I can't make mac and cheese.
Okay.
I keep saying, I keep trying.
Right.
But I can't make.
But you can make some potatoes.
But I can do potatoes and collard greens. And that's the other one. My collard greens are legend. Okay.
Okay.
Are legend.
So, would you like at some point to have a collard green cook-off?
Yeah. Well. Is this a fair one?
Why wouldn't it be fair? What would
right.
I do?
Okay. Okay. Let me see. Fair one. We're gonna have a collard green cook-off. You and me. Okay. All right.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah.
So since you're doing all this cooking,
yes.
and things are not healthy, how our
Yes.
mothers and our grandmothers used to cook. So what have you done to change your
Let me tell
food
you
and
what.
bringing it forward? What are
Okay.
you doing?
Well,
we already know collard greens.
Okay. Well, right. When my mom and my grandmother would make collard greens, they had ham hocks.
Yes.
I'm sorry, and they had, or better yet, my papa, they used to eat those pig's feet and all that other kind of stuff. But what I've done, when I make my collard greens,
you don't have to tell me.
Don't tell you my secret.
Because,
right.
I want to, this is a cook-off.
Oh, right.
Collard
Excuse
greens.
me, can't tell her. Okay,
but I want to know, what are you doing differently? So
Right.
let me just say, I should not be cutting you off because you're my guest.
That's
but
all right.
I want to know, what are you doing to substitute instead of that pig feet and not for your collard greens?
Yeah, not for my collard.
So what are you doing?
Smoked turkey.
Smoked turkey.
Yeah, I may move from the hammocks to smoked turkey. You taught me how to make grilled vegetables. I've got that recipe, so I've got that down. So again, grilled vegetables are always, something, and I love fruit. Okay, I look at your counter, I see your tangerines, I see your lemons, your oranges. So again, I also like fruit, and I like things that are colorful.
Right.
If it doesn't look good, I'm not eating it.
Well, one of my things is that if someone gives you a plate and it's all green, send it back.
Yeah, no.
Because your food should be as diverse as I hope our country will be at some point in time.
It's gonna be.
I want some red, I want
Yeah,
some yellow,
yellow.
I want some different things in my food.
Yeah.
So you told me what you would do for your family.
Right.
But my approach to food when I'm cooking is about the seasons. And right now, citrus is one of the best things that you can have right now. And this is why you see some
That's why I
oranges,
say
some
citrus.
grapefruits, some lemons.
Lemons.
These are blood oranges. On another day, we could make us a cocktail out of the blood orange.
Wonderful.
Oranges. Maybe I'll do that when we're making our collard greens. Just
Our cook-off?
kind of
Okay.
right.
Right, okay, fine. That's going to happen.
So, but
No.
during this time that you're on my show, I'm going to pull together a light meal, something that you could have if it was Bible study time.
Which is wonderful.
And I'm hoping that they've changed that typical Sunday meal that churches used to have, that fried chicken.
I know where you're going. Okay.
And as the potato salad that
Right.
hopefully Sister so-and-so didn't make that Sunday.
Right.
But before I prepare just a small dish for you, tell me, what is it that you would like my viewers to take away from the interview that we've had today? Tell me some things that I didn't ask that you might want to share with us that I don't know about. I mean, not that necessarily I even knew about it, but something that you want to share with us, because during this time of the pandemic, which I've said before, I want to live, but also I want to get to know my friends.
Yeah.
And, this is the time this is truth-telling time.
It really is. Again, I go back to another favorite quote by one of my sheroes, which is Dr. Maya Angelou. And I just think it just speaks over everything, where she said, people won't remember what you said, They won't remember what you did, but they will always remember how you made them feel. It is so important to me that people realize that they are important, that they matter, okay? That they have voice, all right? And it takes me back to even being the president of the foundation, because I have the privilege and honor of representing people that may not necessarily have a voice, but to get to empower them through healthcare, through if you want to be a nurse, if you've got some challenges with regard to addiction, how do I get them to be healthier? So that's important to me. That's what makes my heart, hum and beat. So again, it's important that people have voice. Nothing makes me crazier than for someone to demean someone else. Again, when we look at all this social justice and all that's going on, see down deep, people said, oh, she's a wonderful person. I'm a radical. Okay, I'm a radical. I'm a radical to the point that I know, that I'm here. God has me here. The scripture says in Psalm 139 that we are marvelously and wonderfully made. I'm the one who says, doggone it, that was not what you should have done. But let me tell you, how shall we reason together? How do I get you to be your best self and be all that you can be?
Well, that's one of the things that is really great that is changed in the new administration. Mm-hmm. People are no longer being bullied. People are no longer made to feel as if they don't matter.
Right.
And that is a wonderful thing. And as we transition out of this pandemic, I think we're transitioning into a healthier time in our spiritual aspect, in our physical aspect, in how we treat one another, and how our approach is to what we put in our bodies.
Exactly.
So we're going to take a quick moment, and I'm going to prepare a little small meal for you guys, and I'll be back. Hi, let me demonstrate some of the things I've been talking about. We've been talking about ancient grains, ancient spices and herbs, and quinoa is a very ancient grain that most of Americans are now familiar with the name quinoa, but a lot of folks still don't know how to cook it, that they don't even know that it's a grain, but it's a protein. It's a complete protein. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make quinoa in the oven, and it's oven proof. I mean, it's the easiest way for you to fix it. Put it in the oven, don't pay it any attention, come back 25 minutes later, and it's ready. So what I want you to do is I want you to rinse off your quinoa. This is quinoa. This is 1.5 cups of quinoa. Quinoa, I typically cook 1.5 cups that will serve about 6 people, because a serving of quinoa is 1/2 cup, Lorina. So this is your quinoa. Don't forget, rinse it. And then what I want you to do is have a casserole dish that has a lid, because you want it to allow it to cook and to steam. So I always cook my rice or grain. You have to put in a bouillon, a vegetable bouillon, or some type of seasoning, some salt. So I've already put in a vegetable bouillon, but I also boiled 3 cups of water, because I'm using 1.5 cups of quinoa. So I've already put my vegetable bouillon into this bowl, this casserole dish, and I've also put a little bit of olive oil. But if you wanted, you could put other dry herbs and seasonings in here and just wake up the flavor of the quinoa. So what I want you to do is, don't forget, I need you to boil the water first. And when you're putting the quinoa, it's not just from cold water. After you've rinsed it, it allows for the cooking process to start. So 3 cups of boiling water. So it's 2 to 1. So if it's 1 cup of quinoa, it's 2 cups of water. Seeing if this was 3 cups, 1.5 cups of quinoa, meaning I needed 3 cups of water. So let's put our quinoa in here. I'm just going to stir it up. Mix it and blend it well, and then it's going to go in the oven. 35 minutes later, take it out. When you take it out 30 minutes later, take the lid off and allow the steam to release and allow it to rest. So put in the oven, preheat your oven to 375 degrees. So let me put this in the oven. And they're going to see my... So now that the quinoa is in the oven, we can start preparing. It's called meal on a pan.
Meal on a pan.
One meal.
One meal on a pan.
On a pan.
All right, I'm watching.
So what we have here, we have carrots. We have mixed roasted peppers. Let's just start adding them in as we go. I have mixed peppers.
How many?
They're a cup of carrots, but it's 2 cups of peppers. You'll find the recipes on Classy and Essential Nutrition. All of my recipes you can find on my website.
Very good.
So I would add those in. I will add 2 cups of mushrooms, shiitake, white, and then portobello. Love a mixture of mushrooms. Here is some zucchini. Here is a cup of onions. Here is sweet potatoes and broccoli. So I also have some vegan sausage, but I'm going to add that last after I mix all the seasonings together. So what is food without salt? It's going to take real bad. I don't care. You can have all the ingredients that you want, but if you forget the salt, it's not going to taste good. I remember one time I was visiting my mother in the hospital, and I forgot to put the salt in the muffins. So I went and I took, because I had taken a couple of muffins the day before, and they liked the muffins. So I said, oh, I'll make you guys some muffins. I made like 2 dozen batches of muffins. So that's salt. This is pepper. This is the fresh garlic that I've cut up that I'm adding now. And this is smoked paprika. It's, you just have plain red paprika. It's not going to give you that flavor. So once you're smoking it, all the oils are released into the grains of it. So it's going to be real good. And this is hirusu. This is Northern African seasoning. People, you'll like it. You'll like it. And then I'm going to just chop up some fresh herbs. This is this is oregano. It's no big deal. You could buy it dry, but when you buy fresh, you need to put more in your recipe versus if it was dry. And this is parsley. Just roughly chopped. You don't have to make it look fancy and real small. You just want to add some color. And this is sage. Sage is ancient. Sage has been around forever. So it's good to incorporate fresh herbs into your vegetables. Just watch your fingers as you're cutting. This is rosemary. I love rosemary. Just the smell of it. And it releases all the oils. This is a good thing that you can also add to infuse your olive oils. Mm-hmm. Now, sometimes I buy large bags, containers of garlic. And you're like, what am I going to do with all this garlic? So what I do is I put the garlic on top of the stove with some olive oil. And I infuse the olive oil with fresh garlic. And this is thyme. Don't waste your time. I bought one of those, no pun intended. I bought one of those little gadgets that you stick the thyme in, and it's supposed to pull it off. Yeah, just pull it off. I mean, it's a waste. It's a waste of your time just to purchase that gadget. So look at all this stuff. It's going to be beautiful with color, and lastly, just olive oil. The recipe is on my site, so just look for it. I would blend it all together. Just the colors of it is just gorgeous.
It's pretty.
Look at that. Can you imagine just all of the things? Now, how they used to cook these things in ancient times, they didn't have an oven to put things in. Everything had to cook slow. But we're blessed to have moved forward in our century with going back to thy food is thy medicine. And that's how we're going to come out of this healthy, is thinking about food is medicine. So I'm going to get this pan. You can use some cooking spray or just use your olive oil. Drizzle it. And just pour your vegetables on top.
Wow. Pretty.
Look at that. I mean, that's impressive. Just the colors. And just think about all the different nutrients that are coming out of this.
It's so natural.
Yes,
So
yes,
very
yes,
natural.
yes. So, lastly, I would just put this is vegan Beyond Meat sausage. Just place it sporadically, on the pan.
I'm going to eat good today.
You're going to eat good today? I hope so. So, I'm just going to, you said just put it on there?
Hurry up.
I mean, it's pretty even before
easy.
This is easy. This will be done in like half hour. Your family, the smells have gone through the house. And, excuse my back. And I would just drizzle a little more olive oil on top. A little more salt.
Now, is that sea salt?
This is
or
sea salt.
sea
This is
salt?
Himalayan sea salt. But of course, some of the best salt you can get is the Celtic sea salt that I don't have. So, look how beautiful this is. It's ready to go into the oven now. I can't wait. My mouth is starting to water. You guys know that thing that says "as seen on TV"? So, because of time, I've already made this for you. And I want you to see it. Look how beautiful that is. Look at that. Look at the carrots, the potatoes, the Beyond Meat sausage. And look at my quinoa. I put in a different dish. Look at that. So I want to serve my guest. As I said earlier, food is thy medicine. So we're going back to biblical times. We're going back to when we were our brother's keepers. We were concerned about our foods that we put in our bodies. And I'm going to let my guest taste this. So are you ready? You wanna try?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I
All
am
right.
ready.
So let's get this going.
It's just gorgeous. It's so beautiful. It really is.
Yeah.
Almost looks too good to eat, but I'm going to eat it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just going to plate some quinoa on top.
Okay, great.
And give you some stuff. Give you some. Make sure you have some sausages.
Okay, thank you.
Some, a little bit of everything. In this dish, use whatever you have in the fridge. Don't limit it to the recipe. If you got broccoli that's on its way out, if you have some cherry tomatoes, if you have anything can be a meal, one meal on the pan. It's just that you're putting everything on the pan. And I know I'm putting too much on here, Lorina. So I'm trying to make sure I put some sausages on here.
Okay, good.
So I do hope that...
Thank you.
Thank you. I do hope that you guys have enjoyed this episode of Dishing with Patricia and that you will join us again. But before I leave, please taste and give me a...
I have to bless my food first.
Okay, well, go ahead, Dawn.
Dear Father God, we thank you for this food we're about to eat for the nourishment of our bodies. For Christ's sake. Amen.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready. Oh God, it almost looks too good to eat. It's so pretty, but I'm going to eat it. Okay. This is so good.
You like it?
Oh, it's delicious.
So find this recipe and more on my website at classyandessentialnutrition.com. Please join us for Dishing with Patricia on our next podcast. Hope to see you soon. Thank you. Bye.